I just want to get back to being myself. I don't want to be someone who causes my husband pain. I don't know how I'm going to make it through this. This feels like the grief that might actually finally just break me. It is Tuesday, April 19th, which means it is 1 week to the day from the day that my dietitian gave me that ultimatum that I talked about in the last video. Things are still extremely hard. I have been doing the actions that I'm supposed to be doing that we had agreed on last week, but it has not gotten any easier. I'm still doing them, they still feel impossible, and I still keep somehow making myself do the impossible. To be completely honest, I hate every moment of it, but what I hate more than that is knowing that my eating disorder is causing so much pain to those who love me, and specifically to my husband. We're really living with a third person in our marriage right now, and that's not fair to him. Honestly, it's not fair to me either, but it's mostly not fair to him. It's not fair to us as a couple. So Roger and I had a very difficult conversation last night, and I don't want to share the details here because it was very personal, but essentially what came about from that is I am more determined than ever to prove that I actually can do this, even though I don't think I can. I was texting my coach, said the same thing. I have an appointment with my dietitian later today, and I wasn't really able to sleep last night, so I spent all night just thinking and thinking and thinking about, okay, what can I do? What can I do to prove to my dietitian, to prove to my coach, to prove to my husband that I am finally just at the breaking point where I know I have to do it. And yeah, it feels impossible, but that doesn't mean I don't have to figure it out. I have to figure it out because this is the only option that I have right now. And as we were having that conversation, I told Roger, I said, Roger, I will do literally anything that I can do. I will literally do anything that I can do to get through this so you don't have to feel like this, because you deserve better and we deserve better, and our life is meant for so much more together. And to drive my point home, if you saw my video about recovery boggarts, or you've heard me talk about the paralyzing fear that even looking at the pump for my feeding tube causes in me, and has for a few months now, I literally told him, I said, go get the pump right now. Go get the pump out of the drawer where it's been terrifying me and haunting me like a boggart for months. Go ahead and get it out of the drawer. We will set it up. I will run it tonight. I will run it all night. I will run it tomorrow. I will not stop running my rocket fuel if that's what it takes. That is how serious I am. That is the most terrifying thing to me in all of this. Yet guess what? It's just about to finish the first full bag of it. So I did it. Am still doing it. I mean, there's still some left, but still doing it. I absolutely hate it. I want to completely just escape from all of this. But again, what I hate even more than the fear of this rocket fuel is hearing my husband say he wants me back because he doesn't feel like I'm me right now, and I'm not me right now. I've said before, I don't really know what the whole picture is of Becca as an adult because I've never had the ability to learn who that person is without the eating disorder. But there was still a part of me that until recent months was still a spark, was still there and present. And it's just so obvious that the disorder has completely tried to eliminate all of Becca that's in me. And that's not okay. That is not okay. I'm not okay with that. And on Friday night, we had another very tense night here. If you can't get the picture, eating disorders cause tension, they cause fighting, they cause arguments, they cause all sorts of just not good things. And I don't want that to be our life anymore. So as much as doing any of this sucks, I just have to do it. I just have to do it. It doesn't make it easy, but it has to be done. Because I have to get back to the wife that he deserves. I have to get back to being me and figuring out who that is, but also knowing that there are inherent parts of me that he fell in love with that I think I used to like, or at least be not ashamed of. And I currently live in a cycle of shame. I just want to get back to being myself. I don't want to be someone who causes my husband pain. I just want to be myself. So I don't know how long it's going to take. And as I mentioned in my last video as well, I still don't have a therapist, but as I was told last week by my dietitian, I need to be able to do at least a certain amount of weight restoration, brain restoration, nutritional rehabilitation until we can actually get a therapist to feel comfortable with signing on. So honestly, to prove that I really mean this, I have to do this and I have to do it fairly quickly. I have to make big changes and they have to be big and they have to be fast and not dangerously so, but they have to be big changes where I'm taking massive action in each moment and choosing recovery even when it's the very last thing that I feel like doing. I also want to quickly mention, and very briefly I'm going to talk about weight, but I'm not going to talk about numbers. But if that kind of talk bothers you, skip ahead. But one of the things that I had to start doing last week when I was given that ultimatum was to email my dietitian my weight every morning instead of just once a week because she needed to be able to monitor it more closely. And so I was doing that. And then after last night, and I hooked up to my rocket fuel overnight, this morning I thought that I was gonna see actual progress, like in the eyes of everyone else progress, as in the scale going up instead of stalling or going down. So this morning when I was getting on the scale and I was going to email my dietitian, I noticed it had gone down slightly. Oh, whoops. Rocket fuel is finished for now. So we will stop that and then we will hook back up later after we pour a new bottle in. Anyway, I saw that my weight had gone down slightly, and in the past, even if I was trying to actively gain weight, there would have been that fleeting moment of like a smile flickering across my face and this voice in my head just saying, yeah, look at it, look what you did, you win, you're awesome. But instead this morning, for the first time in 19 years, I was filled with rage and frustration at the fact that the number went down even slightly, because it's not what I ultimately want, because what I ultimately want is to be able to live life with my husband and enjoy life with my husband. The only way to do that is to get through this weight restoration, brain restoration, nutritional rehabilitation part of the process so that I can start working with a therapist so that I can then get all of the parts of me back, but the nutrition has to be solid first. Only reason I wanted to share that story is because the experience was so different than it ever has been. There has, I don't think, ever been a time when I have gotten on the scale and the number has gone down that I haven't had that completely disordered, just fleeting moment of, oh, look what I did, this is awesome. Even if it was eventually followed with, holy crap, this is not what actually needs to happen, there has always been that fleeting moment of gratification. And it's only ever fleeting, but it has always been there until this morning. And this morning, there was none of that. There was no flicker of a smile. There was no even barely fleeting sense of gratification in my soul, in my heart, in my brain, nothing like that. It was pure rage and pure frustration because I am determined to prove that I can do this. And I'm really hoping that I'm able to prove that enough for my team to stay on long enough for me to continue to prove it. Didn't want to start crying. And as soon as that happened this morning, I did my morning ritual of getting Roger's coffee stuff prepared for him so it's just ready to go and be made when he gets out of the shower and he's getting ready for work. And then I grabbed food out of the fridge about 3 hours before I have been able to in months. And I ate it 2.5 hours earlier than I've been able to eat anything in recent months. I also know that doing that one time does not magically fix things. Doing this even one time does not magically fix things. They have to be consistently repeated steps. And this is me saying that I'm going to do them. I'm saying this right now to the void of my room, but also to all of you who may be on the other side of this, watching this stream. I am going to do these things. Because I have to get back to myself, because I have to be the wife my husband deserves, because this is not life. It is not life. A life ruled by disorder is not life. It's barely an existence. And even the existence, it still isn't me. So here's hoping I will be able to do that again tomorrow morning earlier. Like I said, I have an appointment with my dietitian this evening, so I will update after that. I'm really hoping that some of the things that I'm going to propose and things that I am going to tell her that I can commit to doing, I'm hoping that it will be enough to show that I am really, really more determined than I ever have been. And I'm talking about other stuff that terrifies me. The first one being running my rocket fuel every day. Another one being getting rid of my scale and stopping weighing myself because that is a recovery sabotaging behavior. And while my weight does need to be monitored as I'm going through the process of restoration, there are ways that it can be done where I'm not the one doing it every day and I'm not the one seeing the number. And this is the first time in 7 months of doing this journey right now, this time after the last relapse, that I have literally just said, okay, let's do it. Let's get rid of the scale. I mean, it's just a machine, but it holds so much power and it shouldn't, but I haven't been able to let go of it yet. Now, there was a time in 2016 where I went without it for 2 months. So I know it's possible. So I know I can do it again. And I'm going to make that abundantly clear today. I've already shared it with my coach, actually. We'll see how things go. But on that note, I am actually going to go get something else to eat right now because I have to. thought I was going to have something more profound there, but I don't. I'm going to go get something to eat because I have to. That's it. I have to. This is not the update I thought it would be giving in this vlog. You know, all that hope and stuff that I had earlier. The fact that I finally have this fire lit under me to where I care and I'm determined and committed, and I laid all that stuff out to my dietitian and I committed to doing things and said, please just give me a chance to prove it. I got dropped today. And that means I also can't work with my coach in a coaching capacity because I have to have a dietitian and a therapist at minimum to be able to keep up with that. And I'm just gonna be honest because I talk about my faith on here a lot, or at least I have in the past. It's really hard to not feel abandoned by God right now. I think I know deep in my soul that I'm not abandoned truly, but I'm also human, and camera battery died, so we're with the phone now, but I don't know how I'm gonna do this without the support. I begged and begged to just give me a few weeks to prove that I can do this, and I understand there are legal things, I understand there are ethical things, but I hate to admit that I'm just kind of angry with God because I have prayed all year. I have prayed for God to give me the strength, the desire, the ability to move forward and take action, and I've constantly felt like He's not there and not listening. And then I finally had this burst of, okay, I have to make this happen, so I'm gonna make it happen so I can figure it out. But that was based on the fact that I had 2 people on my team who were extremely supportive, neither of which can work with me right now. I keep being told I need a higher level of care. I keep saying I've never once denied that, but it doesn't change the reality that there are many factors that prevent that from being a reality. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. Even when I thought I was doing everything right today, I somehow screwed it up. I somehow managed to screw it up. I'm so sick of this screwing everything up in life. And this might be one of the most vulnerable clips I've ever shared on the channel because I feel so abandoned and so alone between my therapist and now this dietitian, and now knowing that I can't work with my coach in the same capacity that I was at all. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this. This feels like the grief that might actually finally just break me. The thing is, I want to kick this disorder to the curb so I can enjoy life with Roger, but I need that support to do it. The fact that I had that support is why I felt so strong in my conviction and commitment and determination last night. I can't even say anything else. I feel alone and I feel hopeless. And I don't want to feel any of those things. I just want to be able to get help, and no one is able to help. And I'm doing everything I can, but it still isn't enough. It still isn't enough. I don't even know how to end this right now. Same sweatshirt, next day. Just trying to add a clip at the end of this to close it out. And I still don't really know what to say because I've not stopped crying. For nearly 24 hours now, I've not been able to stop crying. I don't know how I'm going to do this. There are so many reasons I cannot just go to a regular treatment center, and I'm so sick of being told that that's what I need, because there's one place in the country that could actually handle all of the different needs that my chronic illnesses present. And that place in the country won't even talk to me because of an insurance glitch, and it's a computer problem that they can't make a one-time exception for. So I have no other option. I just got a list of recommendations from this dietitian, and all of them are things that I have already looked into and know are not options. So I feel like I've wasted 8 months of my life, 8 months of my coach's life, 8 months of Roger's life, and not gotten anywhere, and that's really hard, because all I want to do is get better. And now I don't have the support. Now that I actually think that it's something I can do, I've lost what I need. I wish I had more hope to end this on, but I just don't. Something has to change, and I don't know how.